Paul, before he was joint chair of the Better Buildings Partnership in Sydney, also, I don't know whether you chaired it, but you're certainly on the Better Buildings Partnership in the UK. And I suppose I wanted to ask if you could tell us about some of the lessons that learned from that. Are the POMs doing anything better than we're doing at the moment? And how are you going to carry those lessons over into Sydney? And then hopefully really relieved to hear that you're coming to Melbourne.
Thanks, Jeff. It's always a pleasure getting questions. So I was the chair of the Better Buildings Partnership in London for 6 years, and it's actually the foundation that the Sydney one's built on. I think I wouldn't say better, I think they're different. There's different approaches taken. I think I strongly recommend that people look at both Better Building Partnership websites. In the UK, there was a lot of work done in creating toolkits that you can download. So there's 7 toolkits, and 3 of them are iPad toolkits. You can download them on iTunes. And then things like Building Lease Guide, tenant engagement guide, building management guide, transactional agent guide, basically aimed at trying to break through the barriers in a similar way that we've done here. I think both Better Building Partnerships have been very successful at breaking down the barriers between landlords. I remember distinctly, I wasn't at the start of the Sydney one, but I was at the start of the London one. When we first arrived in the room, everyone was very caught about talking about anything they were doing, or any way they could actually work together. And that changed dramatically over time. And I think both, we talked to the Better Building Partnership in London, and vice versa, and we're sharing ideas with each other. Areas they're focused on is around forward procurement, and around improving that tenant engagement piece. Areas we're focused on are tenant engagement, and we've got a Green Lease guide that's gone out, we've got this tenant lifecycle assessment tool. So there's lots of ideas. I strongly recommend you look at both websites.
Thanks, Paul. Other questions? There's one just here. Wait for the microphone.
Yeah, but go on the CTEC. It's quite clear that people's well-being is based on how they transit, where they work, where they live, and their well-being and productivity is an amalgam of all of these. So, and I really picked up on the last speaker. I think the WA experiences and the question posed is really the critical question. How can we get a balanced scorecard of all of these in both social, environmental and economic terms and productivity terms? How can we make a balanced scorecard of pre and post so we can really learn from what we have tried to do for an existing community and what we have created? And I think it really is for the whole panel to discuss, because each one of them touched on this, because it's in transit, at work, etc. So having the communities, what we're doing is compartmentalising each one of these, both the Green Building Council notes, etc., any of the metrics and economic, but at the end of the day, it's got to be in dollars, and it's got to be in some sort of communicable social terms. And it's not just the dollars, obviously, that counts.
Could you pick 1 or 2 members of the panel to answer that? Because then we can get around more people.
Well, I really think it should go to the last speaker.
Rocio.
Thank you.
So if I understood correctly, the question is around how can we have a scorecard in which we can start measuring the before and after the outcomes.
All the work, transit, and community integrate a whole lot, not just community, not just transit, not just work.
Obviously, as I was saying, community consultation is seen as one of the pillars to get us there, and one of the things is identifying what the community needs are, and what is their behaviour and patterns. And it's very difficult to look at a scorecard, usually, particularly in the social arena, because a lot of social elements are intangible, right? So have retail and businesses on the ground, how many jobs are there created? If you enhance the neighborhood through redesign, how does that impact your crime rates, the health and well-being of the community, not only within but surrounding as well? So the short answer is we're working on it, and if kind of ways of going about this, we definitely would like to hear. I think that what we need to do as an industry is come together and try to figure out what those metrics look like and what are the elements that we would like to start measuring and create a benchmark to track and report against that.
Thank you. Paul, did you want to chip in there? I'm not volunteering you, but you looked expectantly at me. No? We've got a question over in the corner there, if you'd like to go ahead.
Lee from the Melton City Council. This is a question I think is probably for possibly Heather, Eloise or Rocio. We're a growth council, and over the next 15 to 20 years our population will increase by about 150,000 people with about a 7% annual growth rate. We've got PSBs currently in different phases with both Lend Lease and Mirvac, Australand, and probably two or three other developers. The question I have is, in picking up on Rocio's presentation, and it's about interaction with the community and trying to build that connection with future communities. Given we are operating in greenfield developments, we obviously have an existing population, but we're planning and preparing for a future population that we are unable to engage with. Other than relying on our internal processes of good urban design, good management of major development fronts, and learning from others, can you suggest ways that we can either engage with the existing community or prepare for those communities that we are unable to know about? Because our growth is so rapid that we'll build out areas within a couple of years and just unable to have that interaction with the community.
I might step in there. Heather, could we maybe start with you, and then we could go to either Eloise or Rocio. Tell us the Oran Park experience.
Well, I live in lots of greenfield areas, so it's not just Oran Park, and I know where you're coming from, because that really is where all the growth is happening. Even though we're trying to get more happening in our cities and be more sustainable or locational form, it is still about providing housing and jobs for people. Many of those who are living from within those suburbs themselves, which is interesting. I think consultation obviously is a key component. I think all the panels on board with that. But when you're looking at these new suburbs, our approach, my approach has always been, we've been doing this for a long time. There's a lot of evidence out there that we can look at to see what's gone wrong, what can we do better. We can use the Green Star Communities tool, we can use other tools that give us some real key indicators. I'm really a firm believer in the social determinants of health. I think they provide a really good basis about what's important about quality of life and community wellbeing. And using those principles to really embed a way forward. But obviously as part of that, the principles must be about collaboration and consultation as you go along as your new community is coming on board. And that's a really important component to think about. So I think you can do some of that upfront planning, always thinking of the people, what's happened before. It's all about jobs, it's all about transport, it's all about a connected community. It's all about having infrastructure in place. But we need to continually go back and talk to our new residents as they move in, find out how we're tracking, gather some data and make sure we're actually not doing the same mistakes that we've done in the past. So that would be my suggestion.
Thank you.